Hello everyone, I'm AussieJTV and welcome back to What If, a show where we look at games that have come out in the last 24 to 48 hours and sort of get some first impressions to decide whether the game is good or not. Now, sorry there was no episode yesterday. Unfortunately, the game I was looking to play, Roll for Initiative, seemed to have been delayed at release, so we might be trying that out later this week depending on when it comes online. But for now, I have a game to show you over the counter, a free game on Steam that's about basically managing a pharmaceutical empire, which goes everywhere from researching drugs, producing drugs, shipping them to customers, getting them to buy them, but then also, and you don't see this too often in games, then finding the legal battles that arise with doing this. Now, if I go into play a game here, I've actually already played the tutorial in advance, so I have an idea of what we're doing before we start. And here you go, we can play as... Let's have a look. Well, I think the only person we have options for is Average Joe at the moment. It looks like these are different campaign modifiers that you can play as you play the game more and more. But for now, we're just an Average Joe. And of course, our company name is AussieJTV Enterprises, because why not? Hopefully, maybe I shouldn't be naming my channel or my company about my channel, especially considering we're going to be creating drugs and the like that potentially have some bad side effects for customers. So I'm just going to pause the game for a moment here. What you'll see in this initial screen is we have 5 areas of production or things that we can do. We have the research tab here. We have the manufacturing or production tab here. Then we have sales, customer sales. We have the marketing offices, and then we have the legal offices. And basically, the point of this game is we want to research drugs for one of these sort of 8 different medication types. So for example, obesity, low mood, low libido, joint aches, etc., etc. And actually it's quite, the way it views medical care, as many people agree with, is potentially, maybe we're in it for a bit more for the profits than we are for the general health of the nation, or well, internationally, I should say. And so what you want to try and do is you actually want to create drugs that have the most side effects possible while still being legal, because that will give you almost more reasons to sell more drugs in the future. So for example, if you create a joint aches drug, you'd love for it to cause a side effect of, let's say, dizziness, because then you can sell your dizziness drug even better. And then, when people get a bit cranky about that, that's where we go into the law office and we start, campaigning against those and trying to basically not have to stump up a load of cash for the malpractice that we're doing. For now, let's get started. As you can see, each of these different areas normally has some form of staff we have to hire. So let's hire some research staff for now. I'm going to hire Zare, Kyle, Trace, and you can see some people have Trace here. So Trace is really good with diarrhea, trust me. And then we'll get, I don't know why we would want increased development time. Maybe that's more likely to have a success. But let's just get Fisher for now. And what we can see is we can choose a different type of drug. So we could specifically target one of these. And as you can see, normally choosing a specific perk, I was going to say, not a perk, but a specific type of illness reduces the chance compared to random. So random, we have a 63% chance of success. We want to go specifically for joint aches, it goes down to 54%. But because of our diarrhea specialist, we're extra good at diarrhea. So maybe we'll go specifically for a diarrhea. For now, we'll go random. And then we have 3 choices of how we want that drug to be used. Do we want topical, which I think is basically like eye drops, I'm guessing from the little sticker. Oral, as in like a tablet or a pill, or an injection. And basically, as you go from left to right here, the further on, the more targeted your side effects are. So potentially you're specifically hitting, we're going to have a lot of dizziness with this drug, but nothing else as a side effect. Whereas topical, you're going to have loads of different side effects, but it researches a lot faster. So for now, we're going to go middle of the road with a random oral drug, and we can choose what quality we want it to be. Now, this increases the price of the drug and how much people are willing to pay for it, but it requires us having some good researchers to create it. Since we just got some regular Joes off the street, basically, with Jason, Isabella, Sky, and Rosa, we're going to go straight for a 1-star drug for now and begin research. We don't have any other drugs at the moment, so there's not really much point in going onto the other screens. But for now, we are just going to hit play, and we'll fast forward through, and we can watch the trial here. So what we can see here is our development is going up. Once this gets to full, this basically means our drug is ready to release, and animal trials will indicate any bad side effects that we're getting. So as you can see here, we've got 7 development, 5 animal trials. As long as development is higher than animal trials, we get a successful drug. And here we go, Crasolone for low libido, sponsored by AussieJTV. Causes hair loss, insomnia, low mood, and obesity. So this is our first drug, and I'm just going to pause the screen again. So what we can see is this is actually going to cause a lot of hair loss. This is the hair loss symbol, but also is going to cause insomnia, obesity, and depression. I think it was a low mood. So maybe we want our next drug to specifically target hair loss, because we're causing more hair loss in the population, basically. But let's move on to our production tab now. As you can see, we only have 1 drug at the moment. This is Crasolone. Crassiloni, and what you can see is this is actually going to reduce the prevalence of low libido, because obviously it's a low libido drug, but increase those other ones, and that's what the green and red numbers are at the top here. So now we have it on, so this is basically lets us start production, and we then have different belts. So we have a different belt for each of the different types of drugs. We've got oral, so it's going to produce I think this means 3 stars worth of drugs. So if you had a high quality drug, it would take longer per month. And then delivery, we only have 1 truck at the moment. And for now, I think that's fine. I'm debating getting a second truck straight away, but we probably just want to build our drug empire first. And then we can talk about distributing it. And yeah, then they'll start coming to stores. You can see cargo and store. Cargo is how much we have in our warehouses or shipping out, and stores how much is available for customers to buy. They'll come here and buy. And then we have our marketing team and our legal team. I'm not going to actually build a marketing or legal team just yet. Maybe that's going to bite me in the arse later. But for now, I'm just going to start research on a new drug and hit the play button and see what happens. I might buy another truck is what I'm thinking. I'll buy that now. And one thing I forgot to mention is we have this green pay 100. So this is basically what determines if you're going to go bankrupt. If you can't pay this money when you need to, then it's game over basically. And you can choose to pay it in advance by pressing the button here. So for example, if I do this, it cost us 100, but we paid it off. So we know we're not going to be in debt later on or go bankrupt. Probably not the best idea because we want to build our empire. We just spent some of our money. And here you can see we've started to stock our product on the shelves. Now, all of these people, interesting, we just unlocked Pharmaceutical, which was the other thing that we were just training? I was about to say training, but we're producing, researching. What you can see is these people have the things that we need. So if it's green, they're going to go buy it because they have low libido. Sucks to be them. And then I think if it's in red, it basically means it's something that we have, but we haven't shipped out to the store yet. So obviously they're buying things, that's increasing our money. We have some production costs at the same time. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hire some recruitment people. So let's get Kaysen, McKeel, Guadalupe, and Louise. And they can start pitching ideas for campaigns. So they'll build up this sort of breakthrough ideas over time. And then you can pitch it and they'll basically come up with campaigns to try and increase the prevalence of certain types of illnesses. So very, very, not what we want to see in this world, but they'll basically say, I have a way of boosting obesity in the world so that our drug's going to sell more to obese people, for example. And this is, for an example, we're now being sued. So we're being sued for the abuse of animals in our laboratory. So if we had these little legal documents, effectively, that our legal team could be drafting up, we could fight the case, and that would actually make our public image around animal ethics be better. Because we sort of fought the case, we've won the case, so everyone thinks we're better with animals than maybe we actually are. Or we can settle out of court. So because we don't have any legal staff at the moment, we're going to have to pay the full $103 to settle this out of court. And it just means people still aren't really liking our animal ethics. So here you can see there's 3 main, I'm going to pause for a second, but there's 3 main areas that people could sue us for or be unhappy with our behavior. Animal ethics, so basically testing on live animals, which as you could have seen from the research tab, we are doing a little bit with some, I assume these are rats, potentially like ferrets. They look a bit longer than rats. This guy's expression looks very like kill me now, unfortunately. And then we've got public manipulation. So if we're doing a lot of marketing campaigns, then people start to think we're really bad. And similarly, wrongful termination. If we start firing a load of staff members, it's going to cause a problem. So for now, let's hire Noel. Let's hire Teresa for wrongful termination. Oh, we might as well. Ari and Brock. Maybe we should have got Freya, but predict lawsuit seems good. And as you can see, this is a history of all the things that we've had go wrong. So those wildlife rights. But for now, we can choose where we want people to go. So for now, I'm going to put Joel and... what are their names? I've already forgotten them. I've hired them and already forgotten their names. Sign I'm a corporate shell out already. So we have Noel, Teresa, Ari, and Brock. So Noel and Ari are going to deal with animal ethics. Public manipulation is going to be Brock, I assume. Brock. And Teresa's going to stick on labour law. So we've got something covering all of the areas. And it doesn't mean we're spending more money per day, should we say, on wages. I don't know if it extrapolates the days or month or what it does. But that is where we are. And I think we'll probably just go for another random drug. I didn't actually look at the benefits of Pharmaceutical, but let's begin research on another oral drug. I like the idea of the oral drugs just because, I don't know, I don't think I know enough about whether topical's better, injection's better, etc. And as you can see, we are slowly developing that drug. Meanwhile, we have a decent store. It seems like we have quite a lot of Pharmaceutical and Crazolone in the store, but no one's buying it. So that's probably due to the prevalence. As you can see, it's gone down slightly. So these things people are less likely to have in the world. And I'm just waiting to see when we're going to get some pitch ideas ability. So I think these guys are just chatting for now. They are hired, right? So at some point, this is probably going to flag up. We're going to get a ton of that, and then I can show you that area. But for now, let's just keep playing. I'm just seeing what we're really focusing on is when are we going to get this Gloflodol. I do like the random generation on these these medicine names. I do find that quite fun. Here you go. So we see this is starting to go up, and here's glofladol for diarrhea with no known side effects. So that's actually quite bad for us. I mean, it's good for everyone, you know, for the wider people. But from a game perspective, it's not good because it's not helping us deal more with other things, if that makes sense. So, you know, we're not getting a load of hair loss in the population that we can then treat with another option or another medicine. So I think we're now going to try and get one more drug. Let's go for another random topical drug. We'll just check our production is going well. So we've got 2 orals and 1 topical. And why not? Let's get another train. So trains can carry more cargo, but they take longer to deliver to the stores. And as you can see now, people seem to be going thick and fast buying all of our products, which is good to see. And we're slowly getting enough to pitch ideas to show the marketing campaign. So that'll be good to show you when we get there. And at the moment, there's no lawsuits coming in, but everyone's working. As you can see, we've got 8 wrongful termination letters. I don't know what these are actually called. And here you go, Crefalol for low mood, which may cause low libido. So this is where we have sort of links between our different drugs. So I'm trying to see, here's the best way to show it. So crasolone is helping to reduce low libido quite a lot, but Crefalol is helping to increase it. But it's dealing with the problem of low mood. So basically all of that's working, and as you can see, we've got quite a lot of stuff in store, not much in cargo. So that implies that we've got a very efficient delivery system, but potentially we need to think about how either we increase our production speed. Well, yeah, that's probably actually the main way. So we can actually buy one of these upgrades. I'm sort of waiting till we get to 1,200 because I want to, in fact, maybe we'll pay this 200 off first so I don't accidentally do it. And then when this goes over 1,000, we'll maybe boost one of these. I think we can also see some analytics here. So this is an analytics of what we're spending money on. It doesn't show how much we'll make. Here you go. Earn 950%, earned 1,000, etc., etc. So it looks like these 2 have the highest prevalence. So I'm actually, oh, there was something about bad news there. I forgot to mention this. So we do get bad news. So what this is saying is there's been a new drug for joint aches created by a different medical venture. And that is basically making it so that bone aches are less likely to be around in the country. And oh, what's this? One of your lawyers has been arriving to work late and disheveled and is working at reduced efficiency. Word around the law firm is that Ari has become addicted to glofladol. Was that the one that we made? With the amount they must be taking, it's likely they contribute to a significant portion of the drug's profits. Okay, so basically, Ari is the one person that is building up all of our profits for glofladol. So we can either send them to rehab, we can do nothing, which will make him worse at his job, but will increase the amount of money we make, or we can fire them because we don't employ addicts, which will even more increase the glofladol, I guess because he's now on the dole spending all his money on glofladol, I don't know. But we'll also have a double loss and potentially some wrongful termination. So for now, I think we'll just send them to rehab. I guess it means we're not getting the benefit of them for 6 months. As you can see, he's sort of away while he deals with his rehab. But, you know, we like our staff. We want to take good care of them. And I'm going to actually upgrade the belt speed of our topical drugs. So we should be producing more and more of them. And this is probably the game where you're meant to be pressing pause more often, is my guess. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if we can, can we create a 2-star drug? We really need to find some better people to hire. But I don't know what the chances of that is. Tell a lie, I do, because I did play the tutorial before this. What we also have in here is we have recruitment options. So we can spend money to effectively increase higher levels of talent to the various areas. So what I'm thinking is we probably want to get this laboratory upgrade so we can start getting better researchers. As you can see, we've now got 10 of these little breakthrough points. So let's pitch ideas. And what we can see is we can increase the prevalence of either low mood, well, two that are low mood and one which is, I think it was dizziness. Let's just have a look at this. We're being sued for the abuse of animals in our court again. Unfortunately, we don't have quite enough of the little letters, so let's settle out of court. That costs us $125. But we can... Oh, I'm just going to pause for a second. We've got a red flashing. There's bad news about diarrhea, which you have a drug for. So unfortunately, diarrhea is becoming less prevalent around the population. That's very annoying for us because we have quite a lot of money made from our diarrhea drug. There you go, glofladol. Oh, so the guy that was addicted to a drug that basically helps cure your diarrhea. What does that say about him? And now what I'm just thinking is, are we better off trying to increase the prevalence of low mood or dizziness? Well, we've got a drug for low mood, so why not spend some money on this? So I'm going to get both of them. It's probably going to make people a bit cranky. So the question is, we've got quite a lot of these for wrongful termination. I'm going to temporarily, I should be able to move her. Just thinking, oh, she can only do wrongful termination. I was going to say, I wanted to temporarily move her to public manipulation. Because potentially we're going to get some lawsuits for this now. Because everyone's saying, oh, you're making everyone believe that they have low mood. Definitely would not recommend this to any actual company that does this job. You know, this is only a game, not my actual beliefs. We should be trying to create medicines that have as minimal side effects as possible, really. But since we know we're going to be increasing on this, we could try and create another drug. Maybe we could try and look to get a 2-star drug at some point. But at the moment, I'm going to save up, wait till we get 2,000, and then look to buy the recruitment upgrade for the laboratory. So I think I'm just going to go fast forward now, see how it goes. We've got enough money to deal with this, and we can see we've got quite a lot of stuff, all these different things in store, so I'm not too worried about that. And then we should almost certainly now be able to buy this laboratory. First, we're being so here, exactly what I thought. Elliot versus Aussie JTV Enterprises. You're being sued for manipulating the public image through marketing campaigns. Well, can't say we didn't do it, but we were doing it for a good reason, and that's why I'm going to fight the case. And that's now made our general... The people generally think we're better at public image than we actually are, because we managed to succeed that. And as we can see, Joel's actually made a nice recovery and rehab, and he's back to working on animal ethics. I might actually move him down to public... Actually, no, I'm going to keep him in... I'm moving everyone in the wrong place. Keep him down to animal ethics, because it's the only thing we have at less than 100%, so we're more likely to face a case for that. And I want to get this laboratory upgrade, but I want to make sure that we can pay the 400 first. So first things first, let's settle out of court. Good thing that we didn't buy that upgrade, because we don't want to be too close to the nail. And now I think we've got enough, so let's buy the laboratory upgrade. And we're probably going to look to fire some of these staff and try and get some better, so we could get Dean in, for example, instead. So I'm sorry, Fisher, but you've got to go. I don't know why it's you. Maybe I just didn't like the name. You know, it's probably something our lawyers can deal with, how we actually phrase that. And now we've got a slightly better researcher. Your annual expenses of 400 are due to be paid. Next year, your annual expenses will increase by 300. That's fine. Let's pay the 400. And now that we've got better people, we could maybe go for it. I was going to say we could try and go for a level 2 diarrhea, but there's not much prevalence of diarrhea. There's quite a bit of hair loss. So maybe we'll just get another, or let's try an injection drug, because we haven't done an injection drug yet. Let's try and get an injection drug for hair loss straight into the scalp, and will help keep you fighting fit and not bald for as long as possible. Not that there's anything wrong with being bald, but you know, our company will help you with that if you do have a problem with it. I think we'll just fast forward through at the moment, making sure that we're dealing with the right things. We can always pitch more ideas later, and we're once again being sued, but at least this time we can fight the case. So that's going to bring our public image back up to 100%. So we're going to have less, hopefully less of those lawsuits hitting us. So I think everything's going fairly well at the moment. Soon enough, we're going to have this Nosifen reach completion, and I might actually, because we've got quite a lot of stock here, I'm going to buy a ship. Why not? Let's get a ship. And as you can see, we can see, I do like these little images that are showing up on the bottom of this page to show what we have going about our travels. And I might get a train as well. So we're trying to increase our production first and foremost. Hope the marketing can pay for itself. And yeah, I think that is basically, and here we go. Nosifen for hair loss. No known side effects. So good for the customers, bad for us is the way the game chooses to present this. And we've now nearly got a drug in everything. I think what we might do is we might prep a dizziness drug now, and then prepare to spend this 50 to increase the prevalence. So we're sort of building our drug in advance of sending this chain email that's going to make everyone feel dizzy. So I'll launch that now, and then hopefully everything will time very well to when we can start going. And of course, if we decided we didn't like one of these drugs anymore, we can press the X to get rid of it. And it does look like we have a lot of stock on shelves. So I almost worry that we need to get more people to want to buy our drug. We need to pitch more of these campaigns and up it. So I'm going to up petition. Low libido is very low at the moment. I'm going to keep the chain email up. Basically, I'm trying to keep the ones that are... In fact, I'm going to get all 3. I'm sure that means we're going to get sued. We're being sued for the wrongful termination of Fisher. Fisher, I choose you because it's the first person that I found. Don't worry, I can fight this case. It's not going to be a problem at all. I can fire whoever I want. And in fact, speaking about that, maybe you want to fire all of our 1-star ones. Let's fire Kyle and Zare. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but Judah and Zahir seem like they're going to be better. Cry for Bronak for dizziness. So hopefully that's capitalized on the fact that we pitch those ideas and increase the uptake of dizziness. So everyone's hopefully going to want some of this. As you can see, we've got a lot of stock of our faster belt. I'm going to get one more truck. I just realized we're coming quite close to December. So hopefully I haven't screwed us there, because we do need 700 by the time we get to December. So I'm not going to buy anything more at the moment. Hope we haven't got any legal fees that are going to come in. It does seem like we're actually getting money quite quickly if I fast forward. And here's the end of the year just coming up. There's a frantic wave of dizziness as we get to December. And then we pay our expenses. And everything so far is going well. Maybe we could try and save up for a new recruitment option. Increase our laboratory, probably not our laboratory, but we maybe can look, because we have now, 3 2-stars and 1 1-star. we can maybe try and create a 2-star drug. That's what I'm thinking. It might have to be, no. It has to be random. We've got over a 40% chance of doing it. Let's try it. And let's go with topical because we've got a faster. Let me just double check that. Which do we have the faster belt? Or topical, yeah. So why not? Let's begin research on a 2-star drug. We're starting to rake in the money. We're now not crackpots selling remedies that mean nothing. We're now selling some really good stuff, or at least that's the plan. And yeah, we can just let everything play for now. Just double checking the news. We've got low obesity. That's fine. It'd be nice if we get a drug for insomnia, I assume that is, or sleeping disorder. But yeah, so this is basically how the game plays out. And I think it is, the aim of the game, I basically said, is you need to try and survive till 2020. Now, obviously, we're not going to do that all in one session today. So we might see this come back onto the channel. But here we go. Plaplun Sobab, which to me sounds like it's some sort. Maybe we need a little platypus to be the career mascot of our company. So, you know, buy some Plaplun Somab, says the platypus. And this can also cause dizziness, hair loss, and joint aches. So that's fine. It does mean we've got 2 drugs that are for low libido, and it's already got quite a high prevalence. So what I might do just to show it off is our old one, which was cresolone, we're actually going to stop producing that drug altogether now. And some of these you can turn in and on and off. So for example, I don't feel the need to have our joint pain one running, so that can be turned off for now because there's barely any prevalence of it. And similarly, diarrhea, we can turn that off as well. We want to fight the good fight on the ones that are higher. I mean, arguably the low libido one isn't particularly high at the moment, but still, we will take it. And what have we got here? Your marketing staff have concocted a marketing strategy that would invent a new disease to expand the treatment market. The perceived prevalence of this disease will depend on the creativity of your marketers, but effectively this would create demand for treatment of a disease that doesn't really exist. Wow, so you can get really scummy in this game, as is obvious. So the sweaty elbows craze. Recent studies have found that thousands are affected by sweaty elbows. Can't say I've ever had that problem, but maybe I don't know enough about this. So if we do this, this is going to make... Okay, so it looks like we can only launch a boring campaign. So I don't know. These are grayed out because we don't have enough of the breakthrough points. So, I mean... I'm just going to do nothing. Maybe we could go a higher one. We could go for that like crackpot company that just wants to sell its souls for as much money as possible. But there's no point launching a boring campaign. If we're going to sell the souls of our customers, we're going to sell it with a brilliant campaign. So for now, I will do nothing. We won't have a new drug, or not a new drug, a new fake disease, and we'll just continue working. I'm hoping this 2-star drug did get through, and maybe we'll start recruiting for better other areas. I'm thinking the law firm. Maybe it's not that important because we just dealt with that so well. But I'm thinking, why don't we try and see if we can get a 2-star one in soon? And probably want to cover a new drug. So maybe we'll target for the sleeping disorder. But 2-star does not seem very likely. You're being sued for manipulating the public through marketing campaigns. Yes, I was, but I'm not going to tell you that. And that's no problem. I would hope that because of what we spent here, we should start to get some 2-stars in probably with this next wave. Here we go. So why don't we hire 30 a month? It's quite expensive, but can predict lawsuits. Why can't we buy them? Oh, we need to fire someone first. Let's fire Ari. You know, it's been long enough. He's been clean for enough time that we don't have to worry. Maybe he'll sue us, but we'll say, you know, you were taking a drug that maybe we created, but that's the reason for it. And what we'll do actually is we'll bring her into public manipulation and have both of them working on. Well, in fact, what this is saying, I guess, is we're most likely to take. These are what we're expecting to deal with. So we're expecting to have 3 in here and 8 in here. We have plenty. I don't think we have to worry too much about our law situation at the moment. I'm not going to spend anything massive because we're about to hit the end of the year. But what I am thinking is we might want to get Astrid in here. So let's maybe fire Trace and then bring in... Oh, your annual expenses are 1,100. Let's bring in Astrid. I probably should be hitting the pause button more to understand what's going on. But now all of our people are 2 stars. So I think we're going to try and go for... this insomnia drug, even though it's only 40% chance of success. If it does, that'll be really good. We are absolutely stocking the shelves. So insomnia is definitely the biggest hit. We could probably up our dizziness production, which is an oral. Maybe we're going to spend enough money to upgrade this belt. In fact, I'm going to upgrade the belt now and see if we can focus. As these things start to tick back up, which I assume over time they will do, we'll be ready to turn them back on because there's still a load of them in store. I mean, 53 in store. No one's buying Folensolol. We haven't been stocking it for about a year. So just shows how few people are suffering with joint aches at the moment. Oh, and we've got an issue. Unfortunately, now how do you think you pronounce this? Zetracufine has failed drug trials. That is unfortunate. So because these equaled, it fails. So let's clear that out. But maybe we'll just begin research again. So we wasted 200, but you know, that's the price of scientific discovery, or at least maybe the bottom line for our overlords in this company. Let's hope this goes well. I mean, 3 development feels quite low. I feel like we're going to have more than, yeah, there you go. That's failed. How many times can you fail a 40%? I'm going to go once more. I really want this drug. I want dizziness. It's causing a problem. It's the biggest issue that we have facing the country today. Not cancer, not COVID, not anything like that. It is insomnia. Now, not trying to belittle it for those that have insomnia. It can be very debilitating for people. And Pharmaceutical has failed drug trials. But I think it's interesting that it's extrapolating it out. I also think it's very interesting that the game finishes in 2020. So if you get to, I think it's, December the 31st, 2019, it ends the game. Because I guess they wouldn't know how to tackle COVID. And this looks like it's finally going to work because 12 development is a lot higher than our other ones. We've got plenty of money coming in at the moment. I want this to go straight onto our shop supply. So Phazilcrapam. I thought that was going to be for diarrhea there with crapam in there, but unfortunately not. For insomnia, causes hair loss, low mood, and obesity. So let's start stocking that almost immediately. In fact, I'm going to stop most of these from anything over 30. I'm going to stop production for a sec. Might bring this one back on. And then we'll keep an eye on that. I need to remember that it's still there. And see if that helps us increase our supplies. And I do sort of want to get up the laboratory. I don't really care about the campaigns. Maybe I should. Maybe I should be increasing some of this stuff for us. So I'll upgrade the prevalence of that because we just not launched a new drug. And I will upgrade our diarrhea because at some point I want to be able to do that. You're being sued for the wrongful termination of staff members. Do not worry. I have plenty of legal documents to fight that. So I'm not too worried. And we'll keep buffing our diarrhea. I'm probably going to turn it back. Well, I have kept it on because there's not much in store. And we might have to put some of these back on as well. But it seems to be doing quite well. I'm actually going to pay this up front. Probably not the best idea, but we can just double check here that we're doing fine. Definitely animal ethics is the thing we're going to have the problem with the most, but we've got 2 people working on that, so that shouldn't be too bad. And this is basically the loop of the game, to be honest with you. I'm probably going to leave it here, or maybe at the end of 2005, because I think I've given you everything you need to know about how the game works. And you can check different drug locations, all of this sort of stuff. So you can see what we've actually been doing is we've been having a lot more drugs in the shop than the factory. So obviously, no one wants to really buy our stuff, which is probably a problem with marketing. But yeah, so that's basically, in a nutshell, what over-the-counter is. Obviously, there's a lot more replayability than what I'm just showing here with the 7 different characters or character archetypes that you can choose to play. But yeah, it seems a nifty little game and it's absolutely free. So please have a look in the video description below if you're interested in picking it up on Steam. Otherwise, please give a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you want to see more of this on the channel. I think it will just be a one-off, but it'd be good to know your opinions. And I'm AussieJTV signing off.